Robert De Niro made Robert De Niro an offer he could not refuse when it came to taking on dual roles in the Alto Knights, his new crime thriller from acclaimed filmmaker and frequent collaborator Barry Levinson. The film tells the true story of the power struggle between notorious crime bosses Frank Costello and Vito Genovese. Two New York mobsters, once the best of friends before petty jealousies put them on a deadly collision course. In a career first, De Niro plays both Costello and Genovese, seamlessly alternating between two, as Levinson puts it, radically different gentlemen. Genovese is much more impulsive and has more of a violent sensibility. Levinson tells Entertainment Weekly in a joint interview with his leading man. Costello, meanwhile, has a much more sort of corporate sensibility, more thoughtful, more deliberate in how he wanted to handle things. That itself, he says, felt like an interesting through line to explore. Al Pacino, another frequent De Niro collaborator, had been briefly considered for one of the roles during the early days of developing the feature, but De Niro says, "We started to quickly go the other way." The deciding factor for taking on both characters, despite the technical challenges of being two people at once, De Niro has a very De Niro answer. "Why not? I just thought that was an interesting idea," adds the Oscar winner, who has famously called himself the best actor he's ever worked with. Fair. I've never done it before. I would have done the movie whether I did the two parts or not, but I'm certainly glad I took that challenge. It was a challenge, but I said, and excuse my French, I'm going to do it. I didn't see any reason not to. The folks behind the camera certainly helped, too. De Niro has worked with Levinson across 5 films, including Sleepers and the most recent Wizard of Lies. Plus, the feature hails from screenwriter Nicholas Pileggi, who co-wrote Casino and Goodfellas, and producer Irwin Winkler, who worked on The Irishman and Raging Bull, among others. The longer we've known each other and worked together, the more we feel comfortable and trust each other, De Niro says. And so the opportunity to work with Barry and Nick and Irwin was an ideal situation, especially when we're getting older. Indeed, working with De Niro again has been terrific, Levinson says. Bob really works on understanding the character to the point that he can be spontaneous. This is a behavior of two characters, and I think Bob studies it well enough to the point that he can feel free when we do these scenes. Otherwise, it's just a mechanical process. And Bob doesn't function in a mechanical way. It's fresh, lively, and compelling. Together, they trace the complicated relationship between De Niro's disparate gangsters. Genovese was the right-hand man of mob boss Charles Lucky Luciano of the influential Luciano crime family, later renamed the Genovese crime family after the latter took over following Luciano's arrest on prostitution charges. Costello, known as the prime minister of the underworld due to his influence with politicians, was put in charge after Genovese fled the country to evade a double homicide charge. Genovese expected to resume his post upon his return, but Costello remained as the boss, leading to simmering tensions and a botched assassination attempt. Their friction reached a boiling point during the famed 1951 Senate committee hearing on organized crime and interstate commerce, the most widely viewed congressional investigation to date, led by Senator Estes Kefauver. Costello testified, unwittingly becoming a key figure in the investigation. Levinson's stylish adaptation plays out very close to the reality of what transpired between the two gentlemen. After all, why embellish or exaggerate when it was already so dramatic? What took place between the two of them? The filmmaker notes, "This is a real rich story." The Alto Knights is in theaters on March 21st.